It is Wednesday, my dudes, and time for an old man yapping. Now, have you been paying any attention to me, which, of course, you haven't, you know that I've been going back and forth playing lots of different games and working on my own game and working on my art and working on my music and working on some stuff that I'm writing. And there's all of this stuff that I'm doing. And I've been saying for quite some time that I really need to buckle in and focus and get shit done. So obviously, I took a week and made myself a chainmail rope to hang this old necklace off of that I had sitting in a drawer. I went, you know what? This would look really good if I hung it from a chain. I just need to make a chain for it to go on. So I made a 6-in-1 Persian chainmail rope, and I hung this pendant off of it. It was fun to make, and I got really interested in it. I got a bunch of stuff that I'm working on now because, you know, I'm turning baling wire. It's like regular old bullshit baling wire that you use around the farm into these steel springs that get cut into bunches of little rings. Little teeny tiny rings like this. And then I'm making them into these cool chains. And I'm thinking, hey, I can do a different kind of chain. I can do like a different pattern. And there's lots of different patterns. And this one's the Byzantine weave. And I'm going to be playing around with this for God knows how long, because words cannot easily articulate the sheer depth of my profound executive dysfunction. But I don't know. Maybe that's relatable to some people. Like, I'm sure lots of people have stuff that they need to do and they're not doing it, and they just kind of look at it and they're not so much overwhelmed by it as you just don't wanna. That's kind of what I'm running into with my game right now is I have some fairly simple stuff to put into it, but it's not interesting because I know how to do it. And because I know how to do it, I mean, who cares? Once you know how to do it, why do you want to just do it again? You know? And this is one of the reasons I like to get all the boring stuff done first before you work on the hard stuff. I like to get the boring stuff done and out of the way. And then I like to do the hard stuff. And then at the end, you do the easy, fun stuff. But instead, I have been mostly working on the hard stuff and not working on the boring stuff and not working on the easy stuff. And that gets in the way of getting shit done. And I've had problems with that my whole fucking life. But as a solo dev with a project that you're doing all by yourself, there's nobody else to lean on. Nobody's going to pick up the slack if you don't do the whole thing. Nobody's going to come in and clean up after me. And as a professional developer, particularly as a senior professional developer, people come along and clean up after you all the fucking time. And particularly when you're a contractor and you have a limited term assignment, when you get to the end of your assignment, you can just hand it off to somebody else and walk away. You don't have to finish. I've never been much of a finisher anyway. That's something I've always wanted to change about myself, and that's something that I keep trying to change. I keep making some effort to alter and go, I'm going to finish this time. I'm going to do the thing and I'm going to finish it. So I got this game I've been working on for years. I got this book I've been working on for years, and I got this music I've been working on for years, and I got this art I've been working on for years, and none of it's finished. I finished this. I finished this chain. That was nice. I finished something. And I get weird about stuff. I get weird about things like I go, you know, most of my career I wore this necklace. I wore this ankh around my neck for most of my professional career. And it was in, I think, around 2013 that the necklace broke. And I put it away off in a drawer somewhere. And I knew where it was. I knew it was there. I just went, oh, well, you know, I don't really need to wear that anymore anyway. But there's a part of me that sits there and goes, hasn't my life kind of sucked since 2012? Hasn't stuff been kind of shitty? Hasn't most of everything gone down the tubes? Maybe I need to wear this thing again. Maybe that's important somehow. Because, I don't know, fucking magic or some shit. Like your good luck socks that you always wear when you play baseball and you can't wash them. So they're nasty and crusty and filthy because you haven't washed them in 8 years. And I don't know, I get weird about things like this. There was a thing recently where this woman said, hey, we never really die. Like, you move to an alternate reality when you die. And all of these people are freaking out. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, this is every fucking religion. Every religion is like, when you die, you move on to another place. Why would you be freaked out about this? Don't you see the pattern here? It's just, I don't know. I have fairly weird beliefs. I think the big one is that that time isn't real. It's perception. And death is just when your perception is sitting here going, well, this physical form's used up. Gotta leave this one behind because shit got fucked up. And that's where you run into Gödel's incompleteness theorem, because you can't know where the consciousness came from. You can speculate, you can make shit up, but fundamentally, I think you can't know the answer to that. And when people are going, oh, you go on into an alternate reality, people don't like that. They're like, well, what about this one? What about this one? Time is an illusion. Lunchtime doubly so. Time doesn't really exist. You can think of it like, imagine that moments are like cards in a deck, and the current moment is this card right here. I'm showing the backs because the moments are all basically the same. And if you just have this moment right here, okay? Well, there's only so many other moments you can have, okay? And your next moment has to be one of these. It could be any one of them, but, you know, it'll be like this one. And then once you've had that moment, the next moment is, again, there are only so many moments that can come after that. So you have one of those moments. And that just goes on, and you can think of it as every moment in your life is like a moment being dealt out of a deck of cards. And every time a card is dealt, you get a brand new deck of cards that, well, that might be, your next moment has to come from this deck. And if you took, say, 12,000 decks of cards, and you dealt out one card from each of them, and it could be any of the cards in the deck for each of those moments, there's a lot of different sequences of moments, but they're just being dealt out of the deck. There are only so many possible configurations of matter and energy in the universe. The universe is fundamentally finite. The amount of energy in the universe is finite. The amount of matter in the universe has to be finite. Even if it takes infinite space, space isn't real either. It's a concept. So, because there are only so many possible combinations of stuff, you have to inhabit one of those possible combinations. And from that possible combination, there are only so many possible combinations that are possible after that combination. So it's just cards out of a deck. Your existence, your reality is just cards being dealt out of the deck of possible realities, possible configurations of matter and energy. And the order matters. Because, you know, they're all going out in order, but they could run in forward, they could run reverse. You could get this sequence here or there. You could get that sequence there or here. And all of that happens and you experience it like they're individual moments in time, like it's a continuous stream that always moves in one direction. But it doesn't move. It's just individual time quanta. Just temporal quanta that you experience one after the other. They come in a row, and then you get to the end, and you're at the end now. Because of the rules. The rules say this is the end. Okay, let's play again. You start dealing out new cards. You start a new game. That's the way it happens. That's the way it always happens. I don't think anybody likes that explanation because they really want something that's more exciting and interesting. And the idea that you experience the universe, and after you've experienced the universe, you go, oh, deal me in again. That's not interesting. That's not fascinating in any way. That doesn't have any broad significance. It means that there is no meaning to life, that there is no purpose, that there is no thing to do. But you're playing the game. The purpose to life is just to see what happens next. There's not really any winning or losing. I mean, there's different configurations of matter and energy, and they exist. They are what they are, you know, and nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. I haven't even had enough to drink to excuse this kind of thinking. But that's kind of the way I look at it. Your purpose in life is to see what happens next. And after you see what happens next, well, you can do whatever you want and see what happens next. You may have preference about what happens next. You may try to influence what happens next to make the thing you want happen at some point in the future. But fundamentally, it's just about seeing what happens next. That's all there is to it. Some people find that a hopeless view, and other people find it inspiring, and some people just go, oh. I'm not going to tell you how to feel about it. It's just kind of my thought process. Anyway, did a little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. I'm gonna go make some more chainmail. Maybe, I feel like this chain is a little bit heavy. I feel like I should make something with smaller links. Maybe that would be a better idea. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll start working on that. Or maybe I'll just go watch a bunch of anime. I haven't watched anime in a while. Well, I did watch, I watched something the other day. What was that thing I watched the other day? I watched Headhunted to Another World. Yeah, that was pretty good. I enjoyed that. The thing that cracked me up about it was it's clearly designed to teach young people basic corporate strategy, so they'll actually be less than useless when they get into the workforce. The Japanese do that a lot. They say, children these days need to learn this and nobody's teaching it. Well, let's put it in an anime. And they do. And then there it is. I think it's pretty fucking cool. And the thing that I'm watching lately is I'm a noble on the brink of ruin, so I might as well try mastering magic. It's kind of shit. People get on Sword Art Online for being like a pointless, worthless power fantasy. Yeah, this is worse. This is like junk food isekai. It's not even isekai, it's tensei. It's a reincarnation thing. Well, it's not entirely clear whether it's tensei or isekai. Tensei is pretty common now, though. But anyway, like I don't have anything meaningful left to say. Okay, bye.